Okay, so before the season started, I made a video saying that the Raiders would be much better in 2025 compared to last season, and let's just say that shit has aged like milk because goddamn, the Raiders are still terrible. Now, I wasn't the only one who felt this way, as a lot of NFL fans, even non-Raiders fans, were optimistic about them, and in that video, I said that Las Vegas would be solid and would win 7 to 9 games, which is something a lot of people thought. But with how things are looking right now, Vegas is probably going to win like 5 games max. And in today's video, I figured we'd talk about the Raiders and why this team is still dog shit. Now before we do get started, of course, go ahead and hit the like button if you guys do end up enjoying the video, as it really does help out the channel. And of course, subscribe if you guys are new and you guys enjoy content like the one you're watching right now, and so you don't miss out on any new videos. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get things started. Okay, to start things off, let's talk about the man, the myth, the legend himself, Geno Smith, because this man has been ass, and I mean ass this year. Now before the season started, I believed that Geno was a good, but not exactly great quarterback, and I thought he would bring stability to the quarterback position for the Raiders. But that has not been the case at all this year in 2025, and so far, he's thrown for 1,844 yards, 11 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, which leads the league by the way, and he has only 6 big-time throws to a whopping 12 turnover-worthy plays according to PFF. Geno Smith has honestly been one of the worst quarterbacks in the league this year, and he's reverted back to Jets Geno Smith. Now, yes, he did have some bad turnovers in 2023 and 2024, back when he was with the Seahawks, but he at least made up for it with some explosive plays, so even if he did have some turnovers, you could live with it. But this year in 2025, Geno Smith hasn't been creating that many explosive plays, so it's not like you will be living with those turnovers. And I kid you not, at this rate, Las Vegas might as well just start Aiden O'Connell when he does come back from injured reserve. I know Aiden O'Connell isn't exactly an amazing quarterback by any means, and he doesn't give you a lot of explosive plays, and his pocket presence, it is pretty bad. But with that said, he at least doesn't turn the football over a ton, and at this point, he might just give Vegas a better chance at winning games compared to Geno. Geno, like I said before, he's been extremely disappointing, and he also just got a 2-year contract extension before the year started, and with the power of hindsight, there is no way Las Vegas gives him that deal, and who knows what Vegas does with him this offseason. But yeah, either way, Geno Smith, he's been really disappointing, and he has been a massive reason why the Raiders have been really disappointing so far in 2025. Now with that said, the offensive issues go beyond just Geno Smith though. The Raiders' offensive line has been pretty mediocre. They're 17th in pass block win rate and 16th in run block win rate, which isn't exactly horrible, but it's not exactly great either. Now, Kolton Miller has missed quite a bit of time with injury, sadly, which has definitely contributed to this kind of performance, but Jackson Powers-Johnson, he's been solid. Everyone else, though, not so much. Brennan Carroll, who's Pete Carroll's son, by the way, he's been the run game coordinator and offensive line coach of Las Vegas. And if you ask me, he has not done a very good job, as both the Raiders' run game and offensive line should be better, but largely because of him, both the units have not been very good. And speaking of the run game, the Raiders' run game, it has been extremely underwhelming this year. Las Vegas selected Ashton Jeanty with the 6th pick in this past year's NFL draft, and people had extremely high expectations for him for very good reason, as he was viewed as a damn near generational running back prospect, and I felt the exact same way, and I thought he would transform this Raiders ground game, but that really hasn't been the case at all, as Ashton Jeanty has been pretty mediocre. Now with that said, some of it is definitely on him, but I don't think it's entirely on him either, as the Raiders' offensive line, like I said before, it's been really mediocre, and when your offensive line is really mediocre, and along with that, your passing attack isn't good at all, and teams can just key in on the run if they really want to, well, it really does not set you up for success at all. Along with that, the Raiders' pass catchers have been kind of underwhelming, as Brock Bowers, he's still elite, but he's missed some games with injury. They recently traded Jakobi Meyers to the Jacksonville Jaguars, but Trey Tucker, he has been solid. However, their 2 rookie wideouts in Jack Beck and Dante Thornton, they have been very underwhelming and really haven't done anything this year. Statistically, the Raiders' offense is 29th in team offense, 23rd in passing offense, 27th in rushing offense, they're 30th in points per game, 16th in third down percentage, which is like the only good thing, I guess, or I mean, it's all right, it's not amazing. 29th in red zone percentage, 29th in points per drive, and they're bottom 5 to 10 in most efficiency stats. And the sad part is, I expected Las Vegas's offense to be a real strength for them and for it to be the main thing that kept them in games, but that really has not been the case at all, and Las Vegas's offense has just been below average. The Raiders' defense is also not that much better, as they are 23rd in team defense, 21st in pass defense, 15th in run defense, 21st in points per game, 29th in third down percentage, 14th in red zone percentage, which isn't that bad. They're 19th in points per drive though, and they've been mid to like below average in terms of efficiency stats. Now Maxx Crosby, he is still as good as ever, and he is easily one of the best edge rushers in the league. I don't think anyone would deny that, but the Raiders' defensive line as a whole is pretty mid, as they are just 17th in pass rush win rate and 15th in run stop win rate. And as far as their linebackers go, Elandon Roberts really hasn't been all that amazing. Devin White, well, he still sucks ass. But Jamal Adams, to be fair, he's had a career revival with the Raiders as he made the switch from safety to linebacker this year, and he actually hasn't been that bad. However, Las Vegas' secondary has not been very good, which isn't very surprising, as the Raiders' secondary, it was viewed as a very big weakness heading into this year, and I even felt the same way, even when I was higher on them heading into 2025. And we also need to talk about Pete Carroll, because he has not been a very good head coach for this team. Now, when Las Vegas hired him, I expected him to be like an okay middle-of-the-pack head coach, but he really has not been all that good. Pete Carroll is a defensive-minded head coach, but he has not been able to elevate this defense in a major way and have them playing like one of the best units in the league. And I understand some people will say that the Raiders defense outside of Maxx Crosby isn't the most talented, and while that is true, at the end of the day, if you are like a defensive-minded head coach, I expect you to have this, have your team, be good on the defensive side of the ball, and I expect you to be able to elevate, the players on your team, even if you don't have a bunch of like Pro Bowlers or All Pros or anything like that, because the fact of the matter is, that's what good head coaches can do. But Pete Carroll, he really hasn't done that this year, and it's one of the reasons why the Seattle Seahawks moved on from him, and hey, it's worked out. And look, I understand Pete Carroll is one of the better head coaches in NFL history. He was really good with the Seattle Seahawks, but I just don't think he's that good of a head coach anymore. And I honestly think that Las Vegas might fire him after 2025, and I can't say I would blame them for doing so. Like, yes, Las Vegas would be back to the drawing board again when it comes to head coach, but the fact of the matter is, Pete Carroll is almost 75 years old, and frankly, he is a pretty washed head coach who just doesn't offer that much at this point, so I'm not even sure Pete Carroll is worth keeping around. And the Raiders just aren't that good on either side of the ball and have just been flat out disappointing. Look, I didn't expect this team to be like a Super Bowl contender or anything like that, and I'm sure a lot of Raiders fans felt the same way, but the Raiders, I expected them to be, again, a solid team that won like 7 to 9 games, and maybe if they got lucky enough, they could win like 10 games and make it to the playoffs. But again, the Raiders, they've played like one of the worst teams in the NFL this year, and they are very clearly worse than the other 3 squads in the NFC West. And when you take a look at their remaining schedule, they still play the Broncos one more time this year, then they play the Cowboys, the Chiefs, the Chargers, the Browns, the Eagles, the Texans, and the Giants. And I'm going to be real, I think the Raiders are only going to win like 2 to 3 of the remaining games, and they're going to be picking like top 5 to 10 once again. And it really does suck to see the Raiders flop like this, because I had somewhat real expectations for them. Yeah, I didn't expect them to be a Super Bowl contender or anything like that, but like I said before, I thought they would be a decent team at least and win like 7 to 9 games, and maybe if they got lucky enough, they'd win like 10 games and sneak into the playoffs. But look, man, Las Vegas, they've been playing like one of the worst teams in the NFL once again this year, and they've just been terrible, like I said before. If I'm the Raiders, they should honestly move on from Pete Carroll and probably Geno Smith if they can. At the bare minimum, he should not be their starting quarterback after this year. And the Raiders, they need to find an answer at quarterback and head coach. And quarterback is kind of difficult because this draft class, it's not exactly great once again. But maybe they will get a little bit lucky and they'll be in position to take one of the few serious quarterback prospects in this year's draft, or they acquire someone in free agency or in like the trade market like Kyler Murray. But real talk, the Raiders, hopefully they figure it out one day because they've been terrible for years at this point, and this season it looks like a wash. They do have a lot of cap space, but they'll really need to use it to upgrade this roster, and they need to find an answer at quarterback and head coach. And yes, that is a lot to do, and I doubt that they'll be able to fix everything in one off season, but it would be nice if they could at least just nail the head coaching hire, correctly, and if they can find a viable quarterback, for the future. So yeah, man, that's really all I have to say for today's video. Again, thank you guys so much for watching. It really does mean a lot to me. And yeah, of course, make sure you guys do like and subscribe and check me out on social media. The links to my Twitter and Instagram are in the description below. But without further ado, I'm out, you guys.